Hello, welcome back to another Tales of the SITBIT. Yes, you know how it is. It gotta be a story, right? Before I show the book. So, if you don't want to hear the story, you should see a notification right about now on where to skip to get to see the book. You know, one of the things that I learned about being an entrepreneur and start my own company is that a lot of time the hardest thing is feeling ungrateful for everything that I sacrifice. Mind you, I did not pay anybody in my startups anything. Okay, so I appreciate their sacrifice, but at time it pales in the comparison of what I put in. I can tell you I worked harder than anyone that worked with me or for me in any of my startup. And I couldn't pay people. I put a lot of money into many things in the business to get the business up and running, but in return, they didn't work for free. In return, they get equity, ownership of the company. If things worked out, they could be multi-millionaire, right? So that's the trade-off. But for me, I spent tens of thousands for SITBIT, for example. I even put an ad for high-level management in the Wall Street Journal. I believe one of them, and I think the cost was, dare I say, 5,000 for just a little, 2-inch by 1-inch kind of ads. And I hired a search firm. I paid search firm to try to find me upper management, you name it. And then I paid attorneys, law firm, to try to get patents and program written, all that stuff. All the costs, all the traveling costs, all the expenses that had to do with the business came out of my pocket. In return, my employee can run up the cost if needed on whatever to keep the ideas going and get equity. The last ditch to save SITBIT was for me to move to Philadelphia to live in a house of my COO, Chief Operating Officer. He has a 3-bedroom condo, brownstone, right in the heart of Philadelphia. So he told me, hey, come stay with me. We will do everything we can to make it work. One of the other founder that I brought in, CIO, a lot of titles, a lot of meaningless titles, was also in Philadelphia. That's why. So two of the team member, upper management team member, was in Philadelphia. So I said to myself, I'm going to quit my job, move to Philadelphia, so that at least 3 of us is there, and then we have one person in Carolina, the CTO, Chief Technology Officer. It's so full of nonsense in hindsight. But anyhow, and give or take, between those 3 upper management people, they got about 30% of the company in exchange for their services. They all had full-time jobs. Mind you, they all had full-time jobs. So what they're doing is part-time on the side with me. So it's not like they rely on any kind of income to live. So on my way to Philadelphia, I'm packing up everything already. Okay, I packed up everything, shipped to Philadelphia, sold off all my furniture in Portland, Oregon, packed up all my comic books, shipped to Philadelphia, get to the airport, getting ready to fly to Philadelphia. I get the phone call from the team. They demanded to get basically 50% more of the company. So instead of like 10% each, they want 15% each. And it floors me that after 9 months of many meetings, many preaching, they fail to understand the core idea of what we're doing, as far as it doesn't matter if we own, if it doesn't matter if I own 51% of the company. Once venture capitals, once private equity, once people with the big bucks comes in and give us the big money, the millions to get the idea up and rolling, you know who's gonna run the show? Them. Okay, they will get majority. These people fail to understand that they think getting more share of the company is gonna mean something. Especially when I keep saying for 9 months, 100% of nothing is nothing. 5% of something big is fantastic. Don't we all agree? Is that concept simple enough for adult to understand? Would you rather own 1% of Apple or 100% of something that went out of business? Unbelievable. I was so angry that they pulled this trick, they pulled this stunt, literally when I was at the airport, knowing that they boxed me in because I already sold everything, I already shipped everything to Philadelphia. So what am I to do? Well, let me tell you, I don't play that game, okay? I literally decided at that very moment, it is over. I'm shutting down the business. I'm killing it, okay? And I told all 3 people on the phone, it's over. I'm gonna call my attorney right now before I board the plane and cancel all of your contract. Void all of your contract. It's over. Hung up the phone. I flew to Philadelphia, get off the plane. Well, while I was flying to Philadelphia, I was trying to figure out what to do, because you gotta understand, I have a big truckload of my belonging, my personal belonging, my comic books, my computers, all kind of stuff, shipping from Oregon to Philadelphia by UPS. It will literally be here in 5 days. Okay, ground, UPS ground, 5 days. So I'm just like, what am I to do? I can't stay at the house with the fire COO. So what am I to do? So I decided that, hey, every big city have a hostel, you know, the kind of place where travelers can stay. So I landed in Philadelphia. I took a taxi downtown, and I looked up a hostel, a place where I can stay, and I found a place nearby, and I went there. And I think, I can't remember the cost, but it was pretty cheap. It was like 25, 29, something cheap. It was under 30 bucks to stay per day. But for those that are not familiar with hostel is a place where, you know, you can stay, but only at night. During the day, I think between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., something like that, it's closed. So during the day, you gotta leave. You can, you know, if you trust your stuff, you can leave it there. But I had a big backpack and a suitcase with me, so I'm not about to leave it there. So I booked myself at the hostel, because at this moment I am in the capital preservation mode. Okay, I already blew so much money, waste so much money with this whole thing. I didn't know what the next step is, so I'm not about to go and book a hotel, fancy hotel or anything like that. I want to save money. So to make the story short, for the next 5 days, I wake up at 8 o'clock every day. I go to Reading Station, you know, that big market in Philadelphia where it's all kind of restaurant and food stuff. I walk around Philadelphia. I go to Reading Station for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then the rest of the time, I'm wandering around the street of Philadelphia like a homeless person, with a bottle of water and my belonging, and look all raggedy, like I didn't shower for 5 days, until the 5th day, where I knew my stuff will be arriving at the COO house. So on that day, I took a taxi to his house. I didn't go inside. I didn't bother to go inside. I just wait outside on the sidewalk until the UPS truck arrived. I waved to the guy. I showed my ID. I took everything off the truck into the sidewalk. So this sidewalk is filled of my belongings. And I called a taxi. 2 taxi. To load everything in those 2 taxis. And drove to the nearest storage space so I can dump everything into storage, okay? I have 2 taxis full of stuff filled to the rim. And I, did all the paperwork and store all my stuff there. And then I get on the train and took the train back home to Boston. A failure. And it was almost 3 years later, 2003, that I returned to the city of Philadelphia to retrieve my stuff after my forensic accounting business blew up, and I bought a loft, a condo, and I flew to Philadelphia, went to a storage space called UPS, Orange UPS, to pick up everything to ship to Boston. Yeah, that's my history of the very end, the death of SITBIT. So that's the long history and the ending of SITBIT as it was. Alright, now on to the books. When it comes down to Superman, I make no qualm that I am not a huge Superman fan. I appreciate Superman for his contribution to the hobby, to the history of superhero. But as far as the character, the personality of Superman, not a huge fan. And same thing with his cast of supporting character. Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, even his villain for the most part, Lex Luthor, never a big fan. Yes, I am in that minority, but there is one villain that I love at first sight. One. Only one that I love at first sight. The first time I saw this villain was in a cartoon. Yeah, a cartoon. Bizarro. Yeah. When I saw it, I always want excuse me, I want a raw copy. You know me, presentable, low grade is good with me. I don't need mid grade, I don't need high grade, especially when it's this book. Okay, I don't need anything fancy or expensive. I love to have the first Bizarro, so I kept my eye out for a presentable, low grade. This one I say is maybe 3.5. It was I saw it, did not think twice, click on that buy it now, and bought it. No regret ever since. So yeah, one of those SITBIT moments where I saw it and then I bought it. Anyhow, I'm sure many people like this book. It's one of the better Silver Age Superman key, in my opinion. But outside of this book, there's not a heck of a lot of Superman book that I care to own, especially Silver Age. That's it for this Tale of the SITBIT video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.